Welcome back to Art and Soul. I'm Tristan, and today I'd like to talk about a phrase that artists hear all the time. Let the work speak for itself. And honestly, I've spent some time thinking about what that actually means. Because if you're an artist, you probably know the strange vulnerability of making something deeply personal and then watching people misunderstand it completely, or worse, not respond to it at all. You create from somewhere honest, somewhere intuitive, somewhere real. And then someone looks at it and says, "What does it mean?" And suddenly you feel like you're being asked to translate something that was never meant to be reduced into a single sentence. So today, I want to talk about finding your voice through art and what happens when people don't understand your work, and how we stay connected to ourselves as artists in a world filled with noise, technology, algorithms, opinions, and constant input. Because I think one of the hardest things right now is learning how to hear your own voice clearly. I think a lot of artists start by trying to make good work. Work that's technically impressive. Work that people approve of. Work that'll sell. Work that gets attention. Work that fits somewhere. But eventually, if you stay with your art long enough, something shifts. You stop asking, how do I make people like this? And you start asking, does this actually sound like me? That's a completely different question. Your artistic voice isn't something you invent overnight. It's something you uncover. And usually, it reveals itself slowly through repetition, experimentation, honesty, mistakes, obsession, curiosity, and sometimes through making work that nobody understands at first. I think artists often assume that being misunderstood means they failed. But sometimes, being misunderstood is evidence that you made something original. Not everything meaningful is immediately legible. Some work needs time. Some work asks people to feel instead of instantly categorize. Some work is communicating emotionally, spiritually, symbolically, and not literally. And honestly, some viewers just aren't ready for certain conversations yet. And that doesn't mean the work has no value. I think about how many artists throughout history were ignored, criticized, or dismissed while they were alive, only for people later to realize the work was ahead of its time. And I'm not saying every misunderstood piece is secretly genius, but I am saying that art loses something when its primary goal becomes instant clarity or universal approval. Sometimes art is supposed to create tension. Sometimes it's supposed to ask questions instead of answering them. Sometimes your work is speaking from a place inside you that even you don't fully understand yet. And that's okay. I've realized that part of becoming an artist is developing the emotional strength to let people experience your work differently than you intended. That's difficult because once the work leaves you, it no longer belongs entirely to you. People bring their own memories, wounds, beliefs, projections, and emotional states into what they see. Two people can stand in front of the same painting and walk away with completely different experiences. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Art isn't a math equation, it's a relationship. And relationships are interpretive. I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to control how our work is received. But maybe the deeper question is, did you tell the truth? Not the truth? Your truth? Did you make something honest? Did you make something alive? Did you make something that felt real to you? Because if you did, the work is already doing something valuable, even if it's not for everyone, or if not everyone understands it. And this connects to something else I've been thinking about a lot lately: technology. Especially now, when technology is becoming inseparable from the creative process. AI tools, social media, digital art, algorithms, content culture, constant exposure. Artists today are navigating an entirely different landscape than artists even 10 years ago. And I don't think technology is inherently bad for creativity. In fact, technology can be incredibly inspiring. It can expand access, open creative possibilities, helps artists experiment faster, and connect people across the world. Technology can be absolutely part of the artistic process, but I also think there's a danger when artists become so externally connected that they lose connection with themselves. Because inspiration and influence are not the same thing as identity. And if we consume constantly trends, aesthetics, opinions, content, tutorials, algorithms, eventually it becomes difficult to distinguish what do I actually want to say from what have I absorbed. I think every artist needs periods of quiet. Not silence in a literal sense, but internal quiet. Moments where you stop performing, stop comparing, stop scrolling, stop optimizing, and stop asking what will work. And instead ask, what am I genuinely drawn toward? Because your voice usually doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives subtly, as a recurring image, as a recurring emotion, a strange fascination, a theme you keep returning to without realizing it. Your voice is often hiding inside your instincts before it even becomes conscious. And if your attention is constantly fragmented, you can miss it. I think balance is the real conversation, not rejecting technology and not worshiping technology. Balance. Use the tools without becoming consumed by them. Use references without losing originality. Use AI without abandoning intuition. Use platforms without letting metrics define your worth. Because no matter how advanced tools become, they still cannot replace human presence. The reason people connect with art is not perfection. It's humanity. It's the feeling that another person was truly there. A real emotion, a real struggle, a real perspective. That's what people remember, not just technical execution. And honestly, I think audiences are craving authenticity more now than ever before. We live in a world flooded with images, information, stimulation, and artificial polish. So when someone encounters work that feels emotionally real, they feel it, even if they can't fully explain why. I also want to say this. You do not need everyone to understand your art for your art to matter. That might be one of the most freeing realizations an artist can have. Your work may deeply resonate with only a small number of people, but for those people, it could mean everything. And sometimes your responsibility is not to explain the work endlessly. Sometimes your responsibility is simply to make it honestly and let it exist. Let the work breathe. Let the audience meet it halfway. Let people interpret it. Let people misunderstand it sometimes. And keep creating anyway, because your voice strengthens through use, not through waiting for permission. I think letting the work speak for itself doesn't mean the artist becomes silent. It means trusting that authenticity communicates beyond explanation. It means understanding that not every piece needs a manifesto attached to it. It means allowing mystery to exist inside the work. And maybe most importantly, it means believing that your role as an artist is not to control every interpretation, but to remain connected enough to yourself that the work carries something real, something alive, something unmistakably human. And in a world becoming increasingly automated, accelerated, and distracted, that human presence may become more valuable than ever. So if you're an artist listening to this right now, protect your inner voice. Use the tools, explore the technology, experiment fearlessly, but also stay grounded enough to hear yourself underneath all the noise. Because your voice is the one thing nobody else can replicate. And that voice, however imperfect, evolving, misunderstood, or unconventional, is the soul of the work. Thank you for listening to Art and Soul, and I'll see you next time.